Hello, friends. Today was an interesting day. I will share it with you. You've had this kind of day yourself. About 3 months ago, I texted my brother to get the family together. And in my mind, I was thinking June and a specific park that one of my deceased family members had us gather at some years back. And my brother, there's what you want and there's what you can get. And so my brother, he has his things, and the family members some of them aren't able to come or whatever. So he says July 10th. And I'm thinking to myself, I've got to compromise. I have to be giving, but I have to allow shitty things to happen that I know are shitty. And instantly, I'm thinking July 10th is going to be hotter than fuck, and my vehicle. If there's ever anything with a vehicle, it's when it's hotter than hell. And some of you can attest to that. I'm thinking back to most everything that's, water pumps going out and whatever. It was always on a hot day. Hot day. July. I have contempt for July. I hate July. I'm not a July person. 3 a.m. taking a walk in July. It's some of the best walks you can get out of the whole year here in Denver. I love it. Anything other than that, I don't want anything to do with July. So today, July 10th, I got up with 2 hours of sleep because I do the odd hours. And I laid down for 7 hours before I went to sleep. And then I went to sleep, and then I got 2 hours. And then I got up, half awake. Woke up, got everything, all the foods and everything I was going to take to this family thing. That was what I started to begin with. On a very, very moody night. And this is really the point of this video, is how moods can take me to places that I don't want to be, and then when I'm there, then it comes together. I realize why I wanted it. So my brother had organized this to where it's right by his place. It was a very nice pavilion with a wide open area and nice water. And I got there, and before I got there, I get on the highway to drive a distance of 25-30 minutes, and my tire's going as soon as I get on the highway. So my tire had the belt inside of the tire had started to rip. So my tire started to get lopsided. So keep that in mind, my friends. Keep that in mind, that if you're driving, it's hot outside or ever, and your tire's going lopsided, or you're getting vibration or some kind of shaking, your tire's getting ready to go. So I drove all the way with it being that way, which was not good. So don't ever do that. And I got to the family thing, and I had seen all of my family, my surviving family, and young, the nephews, the nieces that I haven't seen in years, We all came together. You know, it was so fucking hot and miserable. I was sitting in my chair and I was looking around at everybody, and everyone was just hot and fucking miserable. And all the little kids were all happy, and they had these little kayaks, and they were out in the water playing and all that. And some of my family members that I hadn't talked to in a while, for various reasons, where there's drama and all that, I just went up to them, I started talking to them, and we came together, and it was a journey for the last month, thinking about how I'm gonna get my ass to this event without any kind of BS in this heat. Because I know it. I know the elements. I know when it's really, really cold, and I know when it's really, really hot. That there's going to be some kind of bullshit. So when I'm sitting there and I'm seeing them all happy, and the whole thing was all from my text. Would it have happened without my text? No, it wouldn't have happened. Because in my family, it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, maybe someone's birthday. It's always Thanksgiving, it's always Christmas. And that's when the family gets together. It's kind of boring. Because it's not everyone. It's not a reunion. And it doesn't feel as good. My family today had how do I put it? I think every single person in my family felt some kind of accomplishment for making it to this, because everyone realized that the energy there was much higher than a Thanksgiving or a Christmas. Much, much higher. This was even beyond a ritualistic type thing, a traditional type thing. This was your own volition to get your ass up on a hot fucker July day. Tires going out and all. In the end, my brother, he got the donut on my car, which I very much appreciate. I could have done it myself. He's really good with cars. Popped it on real quick. So another thing to remember is to keep a little mini air compressor next to your donut inside your car, because it's going to be flat. What the hell good is a donut without a fucking mini compressor that you can plug into your cigarette lighter? If you don't have that, you're not going to drive off on your donut. So that's something to keep in mind. So what I'm going to be ordering tonight is a mini compressor for sure, and I'm going to order a proper tire wrench, because as soon as if I make it that far in life and I hear a blah, 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 or I'm getting some kind of vibration, then I'm going to be pulling over at the next exit, then I'm going to change my tire. I'm not going to change it on the side of the highway, that's for sure. I'd rather have the thing blow out than change it on the side of the highway with these people. That's another thing too. As I'm thinking to myself this last month of that drive on the highway, this really gives you an idea of how much I get out. This is how isolated I am. Very isolated. I'm going to pause for a quick second because I'm going to go get a beer. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, it was an ordeal with the tire, with the freaking heat, and I was having some anxiety attacks when I was pulling up into my brother's neighborhood that I don't know, because this is a new house of his. I don't know his area. I don't know. It's the kind of out of control, and it was the heat. And those are two almost givens that I'm going to have some kind of anxiety attack. And to describe an anxiety attack that I have, it's usually a stomach, nerves, nervous system overstimulation, whatever it is. A lightheadedness, maybe a dizziness, and not wanting to be alive. Pretty much, just the fight or flight thing, to flee the situation. And there's, as I'm moving toward going to do something that I am somewhat, I don't know, man, I don't know. That's anxiety, that's depression, and that's something in the way. And it's always going to be in the way. And it's basically every single time it's hotter than hell, or I start to get hot, I'm going to have anxiety. It's pretty much given. And this is especially the more and more I'm aging. I know more and more of how things could go, oh, so this way, and oh, so that way. And I've got my brother telling me about how tires have gone through people's windshields and taken them out and all this stuff, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, dude, you could drive 55 in the right-hand lane on the highway, and still there could be someone in a big, huge truck that goes flying by at 90, and their tire goes out, and they lose control, and they swerve in front of you, and there's all these things going through my head, and I'm thinking to myself, there's no getting out of this, man. There's just no getting out of this. You could do everything just right, and there's something that can happen to you. That's all that stuff really doesn't do a whole lot of good for anxiety. And another thing, or I'll go ahead and wrap up my day situation. I finally made it back with a donut. Not on the highway, driving down the regular streets, hitting the lights, and it was finally, the sun was coming down, the AC was starting to actually get cold, and I was coming around a little bit, and I felt actually a little better. So it's very apparent that my body temperature has a lot to do with my anxiety attacks. Not necessarily my moods. It does too. Mostly my overall it's the sensitivity, to light, to sounds, to body temperature, for sure. I could be frost cold and be in a pretty good situation in comparison to heat. Heat is not my buddy, nor is the sun. And that's another thing too, is I haven't been out in the sun in a long time. I've been over to my sister's in the evening when the sun is generally going down. Not in July. If my sisters say, oh, come on over in July, I'd say, no. And I wanted to, with this family thing, the thing is, it was my idea. And a lot of my family members were, I think, a little worried about being let down by me texting them saying that I wasn't going to come. Because I got a bunch of texts from my mom and my sister and everything. Are you going to make it? Where are you? If I would not have showed up to this event, I would have been just a massive dickhead. And you want to talk about pressure? Well, that's pressure I put on myself. And moods, having moods that go all over the place, which I do have. Last night I was thinking about how I didn't want to be here anymore. And about 16 hours later, I'm sitting at the gas station talking to a gal that I like a little bit. And I'll talk about her here in a minute. The moods are really they say what my day is going to be, kind of. I can exercise and I can take all kinds of stuff and to alleviate or relieve some of my moods. The thing is, I'm still going to be moody. I'm still going to have depression, and I'm still going to have thoughts about ending things, and it's always going to be there. I've got to be realistic, and I've got to understand this. So if I make a commitment, or I come up with this family thing because I am in a certain mood at the time, then when it comes down to it, I've got to force myself to go to whatever it is. Now I've got to change my tire, so I've got to go down and get my tire fixed. And they have early hours. They don't have late hours. So, I'm going to have to force myself to go do this tire thing. Yeah, I don't think anyone is going to want to do that. For myself, there's a bunch of things I'm going to be thinking about, though. I'm going to be thinking about the heat, because it's hot out right now. And I could probably drive around on that donut for 5 months. and that is something that I would do. I'm not going to, though. I might. I might. Just because I don't want to drive around in the heat. I'd rather have that donut wear down to the bone than go out in the heat, in the July heat. At least, until the sun goes down. And they're not open during that time. You dig what I'm saying? I don't think I'm alone in this. So anyway, there's a gal at the gas station that I've been talking to for quite some time. And she has a lot of anxiety, the same as I do. She has extreme anxiety. And I got her number, and I've been texting her, and she hasn't texted back, ever. So I'll go in and I'll say, oh, hi, and she'll be coy. Oh, hi, yeah. Did you text me? Oh, did you text me? And she just has so much anxiety. We're talking agoraphobia, massively. And she actually texted me back a couple nights ago. And when she did, I said, holy crap. Because I was in there and she was in a certain kind of mood. So I said, maybe if I text her tonight, she'll text me back. She did. She actually texted me back. It's amazing. We're talking about anxiety here. And we're talking about myself, all of these things with this whole entire day and my moods, and at the forefront, if anything is going to get in the way of anything, it's going to be anxiety. Because I could be depressed and want to be nothing, gone, and still get to a gathering. It's the anxiety where I want to flee. It's where I want to go away. So same as this female that I know at the gas station. She has a kind heart for the most part, as far as publicly speaking. The setback or the barrier with anxiety is something the only people with anxiety are going to understand. And that other people, as far as understanding and as far as people being on the same page as you, it's not going to happen. Because as I'm driving back tonight with the donut on my car, the spare tire, I am driving 45, 500 to 50, whatever the recommended is with the donut. Because I don't care, for one, and I don't want to mess with it. Because I've already been through enough in the day, which isn't a whole lot still for me. I got to mess with this stupid tire now, so I got to get back. Well, people are going, and they're cutting around me to get around me. Timer. Got to get the timer. Here, let me pause it. Okay. Yeah. So there's people driving around me, life keeps going. People have their tip top big trucks with their massive tires, and they're going 90 around you, and whatever. Things keep going. If I'm far away from my point on that, whatever. You probably know what I mean by all this. I'm not alone. I know that there's others out there. This gal at the gas station, she's going through it, and she's going through it. It's too obvious that she's going through it way more than I'm going through it. She's not. It's so debilitating for her. She has. It's where she's not even able to really text me. It's not even in-person contact. She's not even able. And I'm coming across very friendly to her and saying, "Hey, how's this going? How's that?" And this is nothing. And then she comes through. I'm looking into her eyes, and I can. It's as if she's trapped inside of this bubble that she's not getting out of, and she's talking to me with her eyes. And I know that might sound that I'm making things up. I don't think so. Her body language and how she's looking at me, and how she's eager to meet someone, to have a friend or something. And there's a barrier where it's not clicking for her to do it, to be able to do that. So I'm isolated. I'm talking about extreme isolation, beyond isolation. Me right now talking into this camera is not something that she would do. You got to think about that. If you grab your phone right now and you text someone, she's not doing that. She might have some really, really close people that she can talk to. So here she is at a gas station. She's talking to hundreds of people every day that are coming in for their cigarettes or their gas or whatever. And there's no connection. She's not connecting with anyone at all. And then here comes me, Mr. Socialite, Mr. Moody, who I see something in her, and I want to get to know her. I notice that she's a little off, and anyone that's a little off, I want to get to know, because these are my people. I don't want to mess up her day by making her feel that she's pressured to text me back. She's free to do so. I don't pressure her. When I talk to her, I don't pressure her. I say, hey. And we're talking. I started talking to her last year, and she walks over to the gas station from her. She has a townhouse right across the street. So her life has a lot of boundaries. And so does mine. So I thought I would share that with my friends, new people that come around. If you don't know who the hell I am, this is the kind of day that I had today. And this is not a day that I generally have, because I'm usually isolated and I'm usually within a certain proximity. And I really don't ever go out of that, and I don't really ever drive out in the heat, ever. I mean, you're pretty much you're gonna have to bang the walls down to get to me. I have the doorbell unhooked from the electricity. I have things on the door to basically fuck off. I mean, I don't know if you're living this way too. If you do, then we can relate to each other. And sometimes sharing a personal account can be refreshing to me when I hear people share their personal account. So I need to do that more. Let me know how you feel on these types of things. Let me know how you get through hot days, because I know some of you are in Texas, or you're down in Louisiana, Florida. Some of you are in the mid Florida land, humid, in Louisiana, Texas. My cousin was at this family thing today, and he's from Houston. He drove up from Houston, probably to get out of fucking Houston. He probably wanted to see everyone too. I asked him how Houston's right now, or Texas, where he's in the Houston area. He did not look happy about it. He said it's miserable down there. It's fucking hot and humid. And I'm in Denver, so there's at least a little bit of wind. It's a little cool, mile high. So wherever you're at, if you have anxiety, get some cold towels. Get some towels, dip them in the water, put them in the freezer, put them around your neck, put them around your head, and then put one of those jungle hats on with the 360 rim, and put it on the top. And just go out with that. I've done that in the past, and I really needed to do that today. So that was a massive fuck up. I needed to do that. I needed a towel in the freezer for about 20-30 minutes before I split out the door, underneath one of those hats, and one around my neck. That right there is one of the grandest things you can do for a July hot ass day. So keep that one in mind. So other than that, have a very lovely day or night. Best to you. Care for one another. Love and peace. Until next time.